this article is about biofuel. I'm not going to dwell on it, but I am going to mention it because it's such an important issue in Iowa. The next biofuel, this is from the business section of the October 24th Des Moines Register. And they're talking about corn stover. If Iowa and the rest of the Corn Belt want to stay in the biofuels game, should ethanol evolve into non-corn feedstocks, corn stover most likely will be the ticket. Agribusiness giants Monsanto, ADM, and Deere have put together a project to invent the wheel on how corn stover would be baled, stored, and transported to end users such as ethanol plants. To maintain their lead in ethanol production, Iowans must find an efficient, cost-effective way to harvest the tons of corn stover, I think is the next word. Biomass left on the fields. Okay, so that's pretty interesting, but what's even more interesting is something that's being protested. And this is a proposed warning label that would accompany, if you can see that, ethanol distribution. And it's looking, the producers are saying that it's looking like it might discourage buyers, that sticker, and that it's unnecessary. So we'll see how that plays out. Fascinating issues. Let's see, Greenfield's warning label, and then we have Iowa's electric car. The electric car came up in an earlier show where I talked about the movie Who Killed the Electric Car that I think came out either in the late 90s or the early 2000s, where electric cars were leased and then recalled for various reasons and upset a lot of people. But now, apparently, there's a resurgence of interest in the electric car, and it's very important for Iowa for very important reasons. And I'll put it right there. Iowa's electric car. And the new venture would make Iowa one of the first players to crack a still emerging electric car market. And eventually it could replace half or more of the 850 factory jobs in Webster City that Electrolux, turn page, plans to move to Mexico by the first quarter of next year. And this involves someone named Tutunaru, Catalin Tutunaru. He's 65 and he's a former race car driver. And he's working with his brother-in-law from a New York company called Electric Mobile Cars, and he controls the rights to the design for three different electric vehicles. And so there is some controversy about past business dealings involving Tutunaru that the Des Moines Register has revealed, and it looks like there are several red flags. I think it's recommended reading. I feel it's wonderful when renewable and sustainable and new emerging technology can provide jobs here in Iowa as opposed to battling against jobs like it is in California. And particularly with the manufacturing base that we have in Iowa, the more people that we can employ, the better that is for our overall economy. So in a way, it's a good thing, but the red flags raised in the issue by the Des Moines Register do bear watching. And I'm going to put something else from the Register on the screen. This is a chart that kind of outlines who's doing what with the program. At the top is Catalin, the designer and engineer. And then Electric Mobile Cars, which is run by his brother-in-law in New York. Here we have Des Moines players from Des Moines who have put up money, who are becoming involved in that whole business venture in Webster City. And here's Gabus Auto, which used to be known, I believe, as Charles Gabus Ford, or somehow involved with that. And then American Motor Systems, and then the various dealers that they're hoping to franchise to sell these cars to, and then have them sell more cars. Oh, hi, Allie. So I found this chart interesting in the fact that the pictures of the Des Moines players are here and visible. They own businesses in Des Moines. They're accountable to Des Moines. They have community ties here. But the players from New York and Romania, Catalin, he's from Tutunaru, he's from Romania, they're not pictured. And it kind of made me wonder about the accountability, if there was a reason why they weren't pictured there. In fact, it worried me to the point where I thought about this movie I once heard of. It was about Iowa. It's about a fictional city in Iowa, and it was called The Music Man. And I don't know, something to think about. What we'll think, I'm not sure, but again, I'm just glad that there's more interest in electric cars, and that there's jobs available in Webster City. Let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next article about electric cars. And this is, as gas remains low, so does sales outlook for electric vehicles. I guess that's the other side of the issue. This comes from the Los Angeles Times, but it was printed in the Des Moines Register, and this is from the Thursday, October 28th, so yesterday's paper. All the hype about the new generation of electric cars might only reflect the passions of technology geeks and environmentalists. Here I think it's not technology geeks or environmentalists. It's actually people who are blue collar, who lost their jobs from manufacturing that moved to Mexico and are actively seeking work. So these are job seekers, these are blue collar workers whose feet are definitely on the ground and see it as a job opportunity. So again, that's coming from a Los Angeles paper, but published in our paper. So a different point of view. Anyway, the auto industry research company J.D. Power and Associates said Wednesday that gas prices remain too low to generate demand for electric cars. Consumers remain concerned about the technology involved with electric cars. And then potential drivers, worry about the range of the cars, how far they can go after each insertion of power into the car, and then, or how far the batteries will take them. And then at the end of the day, the vehicles are too expensive compared with gasoline engine vehicles. Although it did seem that the players from that chart that I just showed you here in Des Moines, who own the franchises, seem very confident that there is a market for those cars. And personally, I hope that they're right. I do. I hope that they're right. Just in general, for the sake of moving renewable energy technology forward, and then also for the job creation too. And so let's see. The next article. So I got a little howdy. How yourself? This is not the livestock issue, but actually down here it says council to look at Yonkers building incentives. And this is the Yonkers building that's on Walnut. I think it's 7th and Walnut downtown. And it's dealing with development of that building. It's been empty for some time. And so, let's see. A $4.5 million incentive package to aid a $45 million redevelopment plan for the long vacant Yonkers building in downtown Des Moines will go before the City Council today. And this is from the Monday, October 25th paper. I'm not sure how that turned out. I'm going to have to follow up on that.